invited by Jessica here to come speak about the Common Core, which is really not a curriculum, it's a standard from my research that I have done. But it's to dictate, not teach. This has to do with English and math. This reminds me of pre-modeling a child thinking that they have to conform to one way of learning when it is not a one-way street. When I speak to parents about a subject like DCF, because I was abused by DCF, and I had a case with them at one time, and I had victory because I won my case because of evidence. And this is the type of thing what we have to look at is the evidence. Is this going to work? Is this something that's going to work? I tell them that they are not operating in the best interest of your child. When DCF attacks a parent because they have some silly idea in their head that they want to take the child away from the family. They think that they're acting in the best interest of the child, but they are not. They only have every child that comes into DCF's supposed care, it has a dollar sign over their head. I know this because I have experience with a cousin, a nephew, my child. I had a case where the parent was bullied by DCF. Many parents were bullied by DCF. And they're a major agency in the background that I see as far as parents dealing with the education system. I was abused by educational professionals. That's where my story started. I was trying to get better education for my child who needed writing help. And they, because they didn't want to listen to me and do what was needed for my child in the education system, the principal of my child's school at that time started to bully my child. And this is what a lot of members in the education profession try to do to parents. What parents need to do is take back their rights, because I see that they're not engaging parents in children's education. And that's what we need to do. You need to know you are the parent, and you have the right to raise your child as you see fit. You have the constitutional right, which I have a copy of it. Nobody knows our constitutional right to be a parent, and that's why I brought many copies of the constitutional right to be a parent here tonight, so that you would all know, if you haven't seen this before, that several states have no greater power to restrain individual freedoms protected by the First Amendment. And parents, us as parents, have the First Amendment right to speak up and see that our children have the right to a good education, not something that the U.S. Department of Education has made up or brought forward. I haven't done a lot of research on this Common Core standard. It's not really a curriculum. And I speak to you tonight as a private citizen, not a professional. I am a judicial abuse advocate. I go to court with parents. I help them advocate when their rights are being violated. I'm speaking to you as a mother, parent, guardian of my child, and I started a support group 4 years ago called U.S. Concerned Parents about educational and civil rights, which my child's educational and civil rights has been violated. And a little background about me: I grew up with an uncle who was the dean of psychology at Miami University. My mother was a PI, and my niece is a biochemist, graduated magna cum laude from Southern. I studied, I'm a mom who's been seriously abused by the system, and it's time now to stop the abuse of the administrators upon the parents who try to take control of our rights to parent our children and look after our children's educational rights. I studied business and psychology. I look at laws and study laws concerning education in DCF, because DCF is behind a lot of these laws of parental rights. Parents should be more involved and pay more attention to what they are teaching in our schools, children in our schools. It is not good to put, and I've testified at legislation, and I've become pretty disappointed about what I found out going to legislation for the last 4 years, that they want to teach about homosexuals in our health classes at school. I found that pretty appalling. It is not needed. I bring public awareness about this unnecessary things that are being done to our children in the school system. We need to be together as parents for our children and to see that they have a proper education, and they are not just another brick in the wall, as how the song goes. Parents have a fundamental right to raise their children as they see fit, and no government official can dictate outside of this natural law. They must not create reports to satisfy themselves and just to make themselves look good. They must protect children above what they feel. I know that my speech can be long, and I'm a judicial abuse advocate. I do parents ask to come to me. I also serve as a national hotline, and I do what parents come to me to do, especially when their rights are being violated. There are many websites and infos you can access on the internet about parental parents' rights and education, like the ACLJ, Education Code Chapter 26, Parental Rights and Responsibilities, FERPA law. If anybody doesn't know here anything about the FERPA law, those are the laws that you can access to get your children's records. And you can look it up on Google. Hatch Amendment is another one. And then they also have the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And I was told that our 10th Amendment, especially rights, are being violated. And I'll read that for you. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, not prohibited by it to the state, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So why are they why is this state gonna bring this Common Core standard into our children's lives? It's, when I was growing up, if there was a problem in school, parents just came in, solved the problem, and you didn't have all these other people, all these social workers and all these other professionals making all kinds of money to try to solve your kid's problem. We don't need that. It's a simple thing. Give a child education and just leave them alone. And don't invade our privacy rights. And let parents be parents. Let children grow up as children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Parental. Would anyone else like to address the City Council?